Got vision and destiny. Add elemental, that's chemistry. All those heroes, that's infinity. It's endgame, that's
Yugi peoples, welcome to the deck profile for my D-Force hero deck. This deck, pretty much, the same core, maybe like different hand traps and going second cards and such, but basically the same engine, same core, and yeah, worked out really well. I think like the only core engine part I changed was like going from 1 increase to 2 and then going from 1 poly to 2. Yeah, those were pretty much like the only major changes I made. And yeah, we took first place. We had a top 4 finish, and then we took a second place, which was kind of still like a first place because we were first after Swiss and got like the main prize that everybody was going after. And then we ended up losing in the finals. We just ran out of time. But Labyrinth is a really tough match to beat for this deck. They start grinding out the Druma Cannon and the what's the other card, the D barrier, and it's just like really hard to beat that multiple times per turn. But there was a point where I got out like Plasma with D-Force and we were gonna get that game, but their ability to dodge and get off the board kept on allowing them to activate their effects, because he could activate them, then chain like the trap card, bounce it back to their hand and stuff so that their effects would resolve. So yeah, just didn't end up working out the way I wanted to. But yeah, so the deck was, I do believe, 42 cards. It worked really good. It's pretty solid. I think like the main thing behind it is that I wanted to be dodging super poly. So a lot of times, depending on the matchup, I really just wanted to end on D-Force and Plasma. I have a lot of branded Despia in my area, a lot of tiers, and yeah, they tend to main deck super poly, so I was trying to avoid just straight up losing to that card. So this is what I came up with in order to do that. Yeah, and then shout out to my sponsors at metatcg.com. They're the ones who give me my cards, make it possible for me to play. Use my code Mhero, save 5% on that stuff. They also have dice available, which y'all will see featured on the channel soon. The metal dice in the little case, they're like really, really cool. Then also check out my other sponsor at Opposition Games, OGTCG.com, owned by Alfred Johnson. Y'all check them out as well. He's got some really good players on his team, including the recent top of the YCS, Robert Hernandez. Then he's also got Jesse Flores. So yeah, y'all check them out. They do it real big up there too. And then check out my store, OCGHero.com, where you can find sleeves like this. Like, look at that, man. It's the yellow Dual Academy sleeves. And yeah, like, so for the tournament I decided to go like full Dual Academy stuff. So I had the yellow sleeves and stuff for my extra deck. I put the red sleeves on my main deck. Then we got the Dual Academy storage deck box. I got a Dual Academy field center, and yeah, so we just like all Dual Academy'd out right there. So let's go ahead and jump into this deck profile. Where'd I put the other? All right. So to start off, of course, like, we used to only run 2 of these, but, for consistency issues, a lot of people, we've bumped up into running 3 Stratos now. And then we got our other E-Heroes here. It's crazy. Shadow Mist. The number of Stratos is increased and the number of Shadow Mists is decreased. We're pretty much all on like 1 Shadow Mist now. So yeah, here go the Elemental Heroes, the 3 Stratos, Shadow Mist, Liquid Soldier, and of course Vanilla Neos. And then a card we, like most people have started cutting, was Honest Neos. Like, I decided to play it because, like I said, like I wanted to end on Plasma, and I knew I always wasn't gonna have D-Force, and so I like to have the Honest Neos, because mostly because of the Diabol Star stuff. Like, they just discard and special summon the Diabolic Star Lady, and I believe she has like 2,500 attacks, so you can easily just get over the Plasma if I don't have D-Force out there on the board. I think like the one time it actually came up, I did have D-Force out on the board and Plasma was like 3,100, but yeah, we kept this off in there just in case for that. And then there were also like a couple different other situations where I wanted to have Honest Neos available to me. Like I think like one of the other ones was when I just have a Hero Lives into Stratos into something. If I drew like other cards to continue my combo, I wanted to be able to search out the Honest Neos and like out problematic cards, or give myself the opportunity to out problematic cards like Baron. You know, if you Hero Lives, they let it resolve, they let Stratos resolve, because usually, you know, they're looking to hit something like Fusion Destiny, or to hit something like what's the other card, or like Vision Hero, one of your Vision Heroes or something like that. You can go a Hero Lives into Stratos, grab Honest Neos, and then activate the Honest Neos. And if they don't negate the Honest Neos, then you're just running over the Baron with your Stratos and stuff. So yeah, there were a couple of times it came in pretty clutch. One of the other reasons why I put it off in there is because, like, since we searched this during the main part of our combo, I kept having a problem where I would draw the Fusion Destiny, and you know, I done already got Mally, I done already did Neos and stuff, so I needed another target to be able to send with Denier sometimes, because I didn't want to dump my Plasma because I had already used it or had it, or I want to put them out on the board. So Honest Neos was that dump target also. But yeah. And also, one of the other things is like one of the things I do as a hero player, you know, y'all see me play all kinds of different decks and stuff, but I tend to, like, if there's a card that I could out with Honest Neos, I will pretend to have it sometimes. So there are times where, you know, when I'm not running Honest Neos, and I'll go attack with Stratos, you know, into something in defense position, and, you know, just to see if they'll do something about it, you know, because, you know, sometimes they do believe that you have the Honest Neos, and, you know, I wasn't running it previously. So this tournament, you know, I feel like people, you know, be like, oh, well, he hasn't been running Honest Neo, so, you know, just let it happen. He's bluffing again. And then, you know, surprise, hit him with the Honest Neo. So yeah, that actually came up one time. So that was cool. That's my E heroes. Then my Destiny heroes, of course, 2 Mallies, and then Plasma and Denier. This card was an MVP all tournament. I feel like one of the main problems that we have with heroes is, you know, like, we don't have the Omni Negate, and, you know, all of our, except outside of Dark Law, you know, our inboard pretty much does the same thing. DPE pop, Shiny Neos pop, you know, and then, you know, you got your Dark Law, Floodgate and stuff. But against a lot of decks, like the popping stuff wasn't doing anything. So a lot of games, you know, I was just, you know, ending on Plasma and D-Force, and just having that skill drain Floodgate with the high attack, and, you know, they just wasn't able to do anything with it. And then the other thing is, like, if they was doing Super Poly, they were gonna have to summon their own monster, Super Poly with it, discarding a card from their hand, and, you know, it's not a very efficient way to out Plasma. And so a lot of times I had, you know, the players actually just set Super Poly, and because I had favorite contact set during the end phase, I just flipped it up and destroyed the Super Poly anyway. So yeah, Plasma was definitely MVP. Y'all know what these guys do, you know, they do what they always did. But yeah, shout out to D-Force Plasma, you know, he really helped me a lot. Then Vision Hero package, yeah, let's go ahead and show all 3 of these boys. And you got the 2 Vion, 2 Increase. When I first started running the deck in the first couple of tournaments, I was only running 1 Increase with about 41 cards, and I kept drawing it. So I was just like, you know what, I really don't want to go more than 40 cards, because I want to have my high chance of drawing my stuff like Droplet and everything. So I was just like, let me go ahead and put the other Increase off inside of there. Like, once again, shout out to everybody that helped me get my QCRs. Y'all know, you know, as a hero player, I'm probably like the only person who really wanted these. But yeah, so we got all 3 of our QCR Ferrises. I feel like I drew it every single game, so yeah, definitely get the QCRs, because you will draw one every single game, and, you know, he's very good, very good starter. I'll say, like, one of my matches in the finals against Labyrinth, he went first and he had set summon limit, and I just went Ferris, discard Shadow Mist, and I use Shadow Mist to go ahead and grab my Plasma, since, you know, we're not doing like the full combo where you want to summon Shadow Mist at the end and get mass change. So I added Plasma off of it, which ended up being a mistake. One of the reasons why I lost the final, and it should have added Honest Neos instead, because I think I had like 2 minutes started my turn, and I would have been able to attack over one of the Labyrinth monsters. But I went Ferris, discard Shadow Mist, add Plasma, then I went normal summon Stratos to destroy back row, and everybody was so confused as to why I would do that and stuff, and it just ended up being like absolutely the correct play, because if he had something to try to hit the Stratos, I had increase, or if he tried to do something to the Vion to get the other hero off the board, I have increase to chain and my spell and trap cards on, and one of the set cards ended up being summon limit. So if I hadn't had played it that way, I was just going to lose out to it. But yeah, so that ended up working out really good. Definitely get the QCR ones because you will draw them. Then just the only 2 hand traps off in there, 2 Ash. I was trying to get a Void hitting with thrust and tactics too much, but I still wanted to run Ash because, like I said, there's a lot of branded in my area. It actually turned it out pretty good against Labyrinth as well, and just any deck where you can Ash, like even like ashing on Mana Dome stuff, and yeah, it was like pretty clutch most of the time and stuff. But only 2, because I have a tendency to draw like multiples of this card, and which is not always bad, but it's also not one of the power hand traps. So yeah, those are my monsters. Then for my spells, pretty standard for heroes. 3 a hero lives, 3 Fusion Destiny. We was running Fusion Destiny this time. 3 Droplet, then 2 D-Force, which is not pretty standard. 2 Mass Change, 2 Polymerization. Like I said, at first I kind of started off with 1 Polymerization, but then I kept drawing it and I had nothing to add off of Vion, so I was like, all right, let me just go ahead and play 2 of them. Then we got the QCR Rhoda. We did draw that too. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's feeling a little bit heavier. It was like better to draw. And 1 Call by the Grave and Miracle Fusion. D-Force was amazing. Like, I probably wouldn't play 3 just because I don't want it to get like all clogged up, even though, we would technically, pretty much have the chance to discard 1 off of the Liquid Soldier. I felt like 1, was pretty enough. There were times where I had to like Fusion Destiny my Plasma off and grab, D-Force with it. I think that happened like in my final matchup where I opened up with Mally, and I really didn't want to have to send Mally like that. But yeah, then this card was disgusting all day. There were multiple times where I did not draw a hand trap or anything, and I think like twice maybe my final card, my 6th card was the drip, man, and it was crazy. I think like even against Mana Dome, I had to pitch 3 cards. I had to pitch 3 cards to negate his, what was it? It was like Little Knight, or no, it was like Masquerena, the guy who synchro summons, and the one who I believe like flip summons or something like that. But yeah, it was crazy. I had to go ahead and drip all 3 of those. But one of the magnificent things as heroes with Forbidden Droplet is that a lot of the things still activate. Like I was still able to activate my Shadow Mist. There was a time where I discarded Mally. We still using Mally in that effect, and yeah, so these ratios play up pretty perfect. Like the only thing was just like drawing this sometimes off of my Liquid Soldier combo after I've already pretty much gone full hero board and stuff, and it's just like, well, I guess I'm just discarding Fusion Destiny. Like, it's just a hard card to cut because if you get hand trapped, it's there for you, so yeah. But the spell ratio lineup and stuff felt pretty good. When I said D-Force, like I would like to run 3, but I'm scared to run 3 because I feel like I would just draw it all the time, or draw multiple copies of it all the time is what I mean. So yeah. And then for our traps, 3 Imperm because it plays around triple tactics and thrust, and then it's pretty good against rescue aids if you do get the chance to hit the big guy. And then 1 favorite contact, of course, MVP card's awesome, amazing, especially when you just have that Plasma out there and they do have a way or some kind of monster or something to be able to get in the way of it. You just favorite contact it away and hope that they don't have super poly still. Yeah, that's the main deck. Then for my extra deck, my E-Heroes, of course, Wake Up, what's his name, Sunrise, Infernal Rage, Big Chill, and Shiny Neo's Wingman. I think like I don't think I actually summoned this all day. Yeah, I never summoned this all day. Everybody else, used multiple times, almost every single duel, every single time. But Ab Zero never really came up, so I didn't have to do that. Then I said shout out to everybody again. They helped me get this stuff. Got my especially Tyler Trevino, yeah, judge up there, OP judge. But yeah, so we got our 2 QCR Dark Laws as well, and we ran Blast also. One of the things about Blast is like, I know some people feel like it's a cuttable card because, you're not doing it as much. But yeah, with cards like TC Boo, I would rather have Blast out there. At least when you do have the Stratos out there, you can go ahead and change that mass change, bounce that TC Boo back to their hand. And there was also, like in my area, quite a few people were trying to Imperm or Valor my Infernal Rage. And because, he's a win, you can still change that mass change, dodge that Valor, dodge that Imperm, and bring out Blast, So, yeah, that did actually come up one time. Had to dodge that Imperm, man. And we chained mass change to the Infernal Rage because, yeah, he is a win. So, yeah, we chained that, brought out the Mass Hero Blast, and we were able to dodge that and still add our favorite contact. Like, you missed the tribute thing, but, hey, the favorite contact is the more important thing. It's better to go ahead and grab that than just allow him to be completely negated. So, yeah. So, you might not want to cut your Blast because Valor is kind of back into the meta now. Then our Destiny heroes, 1 Phoenix Enforcer, 1 Dangerous. I wish I could play what's his name? Hey, what's the name of that card? Dystopia. But I don't know. It's just like easier when I have no choice but to like when I have Vion out there and he was like my only draw and I need to get that poly with my Shadow Mist. So it's just like, you summon Vion, send Shadow Mist, add Mally, banish the Shadow Mist to add Polymerization, and then you're able to fuse those 2 into Dangerous, and then discard 1 to get the denier out there and stuff too. So it's just like you gotta kind of have it if you want to be able to make something out of your single Vion, sometimes because you gotta summon it and just do what you do sometimes. And then of course DPE, I did have 2 of them in there at first, but I ended up like switching out the extra deck a little bit because like I'll show y'all why in a second. But yeah, we had those, and then double Cross Crusader. And these guys, Dread Decimator doesn't make his way into every single deck, but because of Droll, and I still wanted, like, I remember like in the regionals, I think was kind of like the last time I ran it. It's just like through Droll, sometimes I was still able to OTK, and because I wanted to have another way to be able to boost up Plasma in case I couldn't get the D-Force, or maybe something prevented me from using Honest Neos, or I didn't, whatever. Like I could use the Dread Decimator to boost up Plasma's attack also. There was my game in the finals, I made so many play mistakes, man, because like I had actually, like, instead of making the Dread Decimator for my Plasma, he had deburied me really early in the turn. I forgot, and I like went off searching for like Poly and Vanilla Neos because I had linked this out, and as soon as I did that, I was like, oh crap, he deburied me, so I can't even activate this stuff. So yeah, there was a lot of play mistakes made in that final round. I really blew that one. But yeah, this is the side deck. I think like if you don't like Dread Decimator, if you decide to play the non-D-Force version, I feel like this should probably be a Wonder Driver. Yeah. Or Babushka, depending on the meta that you play in. So yeah, but I really wish it could have been a second Wonder Driver because a lot of times this guy's just gone after that first one. But his ability to recycle poly, mass change, miracle fusion and stuff is really, really, really valuable. So yeah, that is the main deck. And the extra deck, 42 cards. And then for my side deck, of course, 3 draws. Gotta have it for those decks like Mana Dome, Dark World, Vanquish Soul. It was actually really good against Rescue Ace when they start off with the Diabala stuff. And yeah, if they don't draw, just like very specific cards and everything. I also used it, I believe, against Flunder. I'm not too sure. I can't remember if I did or not, but yeah, it was in there for those decks. Then 2 Ghost Bell, 2 Crow, and then the 3rd Ash because this is Ash. And Dark Angel, I think I might have used this one time the entire tournament, but I was pretty determined because most people have an out for it. I was pretty determined not to play this unless I drew the rivalry, and I just never drew rivalry, so I never really summoned it. I think there was like one time that I summoned it, but like in my area, because people got tired of me Dark Angel and them, like it's been getting hit by Crow, yeah, of course the other bestial monsters and such, so you know I wasn't trying to rely on this card too much. The ghost bells and stuff, where you know I did expect there to be, you know, Labyrinth players as well. You know, this is what the DD Crow and stuff was for, but I think like in one of the matches I actually hit the wrong card with the DD Crow because I was scared of the blackjack thing, I think, or something like that. Or it was one of the ones that like resurrects to the board, and I should have been hitting the traps instead, you know, because those messed me up. But then there's also a lot of branded in my area, like I said, and that branded beast card that, you know, specials targets one of theirs and special summons it and then fuses with my stuff too. It's like, no, I had to put a stop to it. So I was also running Ghost Bell. And, you know, one of the other reasons is because I was playing Crossout at first. And, you know, like in the Crossout version, I think like it was, I main deck like 2 Droll, 2 Ash, and then 1 Imperm, and there was another one. It was Ash. No, I think it was just Ash, Droll, Imperm. And yeah, those were pretty much the main ones. But, you know, I kept drawing Hand Trap as my 6th card, and I just got tired of it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to try to play without Cross Out and do the best that I can and hope my opponents don't draw every single time. Yeah, there's that. Then, you know, of course, because I hate back row, especially TC Boo, 2 Lightning Storms, Harpy Feather Duster, and then the 3 rivalries that I never drew. There were 3 of them in my side deck, and I just never drew it. I think, what's his name? Blake, you know, very good hero player. Very active in our hero group. But he was saying that I should also run Spellbound. So yeah, I think like in order to increase my chances of doing it, I'm gonna try to find a way to work Spellbound into my side deck, because, you know, it basically gives you 6 targets, you know, 6 reasons to bring out Dark Angel on them because they can't get rid of it. So yeah, and that is the deck profile. And yeah, appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen. Hope you enjoyed that. Y'all have any questions, let me know. Suggestions, let me know. Appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen, and I will catch y'all on the next visual.
My wingman, he come through, he level up, he go cool, he shining out and popping too. Over 9K, that's a breakthrough. We on top now, here's a look at our world.